Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today let's talk about why so many people want to avoid hard work. Why so many people just wake up every single day and don't have any sense of urgency, right? Do you ever wonder, right? You go in public, you go grocery shopping, you go to the mall, or you go to the movies, or you go to anywhere in public, right? And you just see so many people that are broke, are overweight, or look unhappy, right? The reason why most people, I'm gonna be honest, I think are, upset in life, or depressed or anxious or frustrated, is because they're not doing anything to better their situation, right? Because here's the truth, right, about human beings. We're goal-oriented creatures, right? So with that being said, if we're goal-oriented creatures, right, the feeling of discontent is something intrinsic in our biology, in our hardwiring, right? Because think about it. If God designed the game of humans and animals and everyone to be content, right, just existing, then why would we need to do anything? Why would we even be here? Why would God even create the game, right? There'd be no need for us to even exist. There'd be no need for anything to exist if there wasn't something that we know of as discontent, the feeling of being unsatisfied, right? You wouldn't eat food, you wouldn't want to have sex, you wouldn't want to go to work, you wouldn't want to make money, you wouldn't want to get in shape, you wouldn't want to make friends and do things of that sort, right? You wouldn't care, you wouldn't want to, because it's like, I'm content, right? So anyways, backtracking to what I was the main topic of this video, why are so many people lazy? Why are so many people content with being discontent? Because they don't really care, right? They don't really see the vision. They don't see the outcome. They don't see the potential of what life could be, right? Think of a lot of like older people, right? That are, maybe a little older than you, maybe in the generation ahead of you, right? Sometimes, guys, people just have this weird fixation on life just being how it is, like that life will just somehow never get better, and I cannot do anything to make it better, right? I can't make any more money to make it better. I can't improve my spirituality to make it better. I can't improve my health to make it better. I can't improve my relationships to make life better. And with people having that sort of mentality going into their everyday life, that creates unhappiness, right? And that spirals, that continues to spiral every single day. And people, inaction, just like action is a habit, the saying that they say all the time, a body in motion stays in motion, a body at rest stays at rest. Well, people being lazy, right, is a body at rest staying at rest, a mind at rest staying at rest, right? So a lot of people are just coasting off of their momentum of not being in action, right? So, hard work isn't really hard work to someone who's doing the work every single day, right? Because at that point it becomes a habit, right? They're basically being carried by their momentum and by their usual activity that they do every day, and they get used to it, right? They get used to doing the work. But people who don't do the work, right, who struggle or who can't just somehow find a way to be consistent with whatever they want to do, right? It's hard because, they start and they stop. They start and they stop. They start and they stop, right? Because at some point, right, we all know this, your body, your mind, right, you get bored, right? Eventually, guys, going to the gym, right, it might be interesting. It might be exciting. It might be fun in the beginning, but eventually that gets boring, right? Starting a job or starting a business, yeah, it might be fun in the beginning, right? You might make some money, but eventually it might get boring or it might get hard, right? So what I'm trying to say is that humans have a tendency to really coast off of momentum and coast off of just do it, habit, momentum and habit. Those are the two things that we really just are good at, right? That's how we're able to do things every single day, right? Without much thought, without much resistance, right? And so people who fail to develop habit, to develop momentum, are the ones that struggle. And that's why they're lazy, right? It's not like they want to be lazy. I don't think anyone wakes up, right? Even you can ask the laziest person you know and ask them like, hey dude, like, do you like the way you behave? Do you like your laziness? Do you like just, being laying there on the couch all day? They might say yes. They might say, yeah, like it's enjoyable at times, but I guarantee you deep down, right, they don't like it because their hindbrain, right, like, yeah, it seems enjoyable sitting on the couch just laying down. The person might seem at rest, right? But their brain is going crazy, right? Telling them that they're a loser, that they're not accomplishing anything, that they're not doing what they're supposed to do. I remember this very vividly back in middle school, right? Because, guys, I wasn't always the person who was, accomplishing things and doing shit every day and, being consistent with things, right? There was a point where I never worked out. There was a point where I was lazy. I eat junk food every day. There was a point in time where I didn't want to do my homework, right? I barely did. Dude, like all of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, like pretty much all of middle school, I never did homework, right? I would only do the homework when I was like forced to do it in like my study class that we had, right? But outside of that, I never did my homework, right? So looking back, and I can remember in those times, I wasn't the happiest person, right? It wasn't until high school where I think I started to get like testosterone and my balls dropped, right? That was the point where I started to do my homework. I started to hit the gym, right? And I can tell you that switch, right, felt good, right? And me doing those things every single day felt good. So I think people just don't have that contrast, right? Like some people have just never worked hard or never put in extreme effort to see a result or to see the fruit of their labor, and then also the momentum and habit of it, so it carries them forward into into the later years of their life, right? People start something for a week or 2 weeks, right? And then they stop forever, right? Because it's like, dude, they get to a point where, yeah, man, it was fun or whatever, then it got boring or then it got hard, right? Like I said earlier. So humans, guys, I think, I'm kind of going all over the place here in this video, but in general, I think that just, laziness is something that, it's not like a difference between you and me, and like everyone's lazy. The most successful person is lazy. We all take shortcuts, right? It's just, I really think it just comes down to like who puts in the most effort and then who also is able to get a hold of like the habit forming component of the human existence and the momentum part of the human existence that is able to carry you once you really start to get going and once you develop your actions over a long period of time, right? So yeah, I mean, it's frustrating too because there's times where you don't want to do anything, right? And there's times where your mind's telling you to get up and get off your ass, and there's also times where you feel like you're doing shit every single day. You're doing what you are supposed to do, but you're just not getting the result, right? So that can be a component too of why people might revert back to their old habits and their old ways of being lazy, a lack of results. So it's very deep, it's very complex. I mean, I'm just juggling, bringing ideas to the surface here. But yeah, I mean, generally, I think, if you are able to develop habits, right, whether it's work habits, whether it's gym habits, and you're able to build momentum, right, in those things, then your laziness problem will go away because, once you start doing things in life, once you start taking action, right, that becomes who you are, right? Like, I've worked 2 jobs before and, I've worked, late into the day and I've worked 12, 14, 16-hour days, right? So now, it's hard for me to not do something, right? Like, I don't work 2 jobs anymore, but, when I get home from work, it's hard for me to not go to the gym. It's hard for me to not go for a walk. It's hard for me to not read a book or upload a YouTube video or, even just clean around my house, right? Because I'm just so used to my body and my brain, right, for the past 10 years are so used to just being in go mode, right, every single day. So it's a part of who I am, right? I think people just haven't got to the point in life where they've developed themselves so much as an action taker to where it becomes who they are, right? So I think that can really explain laziness. Because, you know, like I said, we're all inherently lazy. We're all born lazy. We're all born lethargic and, you know, wanting something for nothing. But you got to take the time, right? If you're someone starting out or you're someone who is lazy right now, you got to take the time in the beginning to develop that part of you that is an action taker, right? And we all have that ability. We all have that life force in us, right? It's just dependent on whether you want to do it or not. So anyways, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.